This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Good afternoon and welcome to the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Kahley Paulsel.
And I'm Jasmine Bradford. An annual event sponsored by Tom's Shoes was held yesterday at Talkington Hall to raise global awareness for children's health and education. Aaron Willis reports more on that day that has students walking around barefoot.
If you had to go a whole day without shoes, could you do it? Resident Housing Association hosted the A Day Without Shoes pledge event on Monday. Students arrived and pledged to go barefoot for the day on April 29th by creating a handprint in a community-wide pledge tree. Dylan Quinn is the Diversity Inclusion Chair for RHA and was in charge of the event. He said he hopes students take away a sense of privilege and understand how fortunate they are to be able to wear shoes each day.
To really kind of open up our eyes and say, wow, there are people that actually don't have shoes. You know, when it's such a commodity to us, we go out and buy $300, $400 shoes. When people go every day without shoes, it's just kind of, I guess, more of a realization state for us. So.
Vivian Cervantes participated in the event and said she's spending a day without shoes because she wants other students to see that it isn't about labels.
We walk around this college campus very fortunate to be able to wear Toms, Sperry's, Chacos. We don't really realize that there are people out in the world who can't even afford basic sandals to protect their feet from the rough terrain outside.
It's not too late to participate in a day without shoes. Just kick off your shoes and walk a day in the shoes of the less fortunate. If you want to learn more about the Tom's A Day Without Shoes initiative and the RHA event, you can search Tom's Shoes on Facebook. Also, you can use the hashtag #WithoutShoes to show your support. For MCTV, I'm Erin Willis.
Tech's Bullet Ad Team answered a phone call at the end of last week that changed their future in the National American Advertising Federation competition. After a conference call with the judges on Friday, the team was one of only 8 in the country to be selected to compete in the final round of the competition. Bullet first competed on April 16th in the regional round in Austin. The team won first place in their division along with the University of Texas, who was also headed to the national competition. Both teams will compete in the finals May 28th through the 30th in Florida. Congratulations to the Bullet Ad Team. Tech Activities Board's final talent show went out with a bang in the sub last week. Reporter Amber Chalker has more on the Red Raider Showcase.
The Red Raider Showcase was a great success. The talent show showcased a variety of talented students performing acts from dancing, singing, and even voice impressionists.
I was a voice impressionist in the talent show, and I did just some of my favorite voice impressions. I did Bill Clinton, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Shaggy Scooby, Matthew McConaughey, Severus Snape. I was on America's Got Talent a few years ago, so it was kind of like bringing me back to the good old days, I guess.
I thought it was really good. My buddy Michael over there, I thought did a great job. His impersonations were on point, and I thought the singing acts were really great as well. I enjoyed getting to come over here and watch a lot of great performances.
Hello, my name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why are there so many pigeons flying around everywhere at Tech? Who brought them here?
I thought that all the acts were absolutely incredible. The beatboxer was really good. All the singers were really talented. The impressionist was awesome. It was really enjoyable to watch.
Looks like Tech students thoroughly enjoyed the Red Raider Showcase. I'm Amber Chalker, reporting for MCTV.
Well, the high winds and dust-filled air did not stop the Autism Walk at the Jones AT&T Stadium this weekend. Daniela Paraga reports more on the event.
Despite wind gusts approaching 60 miles per hour and dusty skies, Texas Tech students and the community showed their support for autism in the annual Burkhardt Walk for Autism Saturday at AT&T Jones Stadium. Susan Voland, unit manager for the Burkhardt Center for Autism, said the walk is to increase autism awareness in the community.
We have a lot of kids in the community with autism, and we have a lot of folks who want to come out and show their support, the professionals who work with them, the families of the individuals.
Participants walked in teams or individually, and in addition to walking, the event featured activities for the whole family, drink stations, as well as information booths. The walk is not only a day to spend time outdoors and raise awareness, but to celebrate the lives of those affected by autism, something Voland can relate to, and not only because of her job.
My daughter Abby is 14 and she has autism. She was diagnosed at age 3.
Fellow Red Raiders also walked in support of the cause. Brennan McGinty, a junior journalism student, said he walked with members from Red Radar Orientation and in support of his cousin who was diagnosed with autism at age 6.
I think I just want to do anything to help raise awareness, just anything to help him.
According to the CDC, 1 in 68 children are diagnosed with autism. That's why 4,000 people gathered here today at AT&T Jones Stadium, including tech students, to bring awareness to this cause. The Burkhardt Center serves families in the community who have children with autism with a Transition Academy for young adults, a support center, and events throughout the month. Volin said diagnosis is not an easy process, but there is hope.
So with early diagnosis, a lot of early intervention, anything's possible.
Reporting for MCTV, I'm Daniela Parraga.
Well, the skies have been pretty full of orange dust these past couple of days.
Here's a look at the whirling winds that have affected the South Plains.
The strong winds have caused some damage and has made it difficult for students to get around campus. Let's turn to our weather specialist, Kahley Smith, who has the latest on the wild weather going across this country. Kahley?
Hey, Kaylee. Yeah, I'm actually here with Dr. Weiss, and he is going to tell us a little bit about why it has been so windy out here on the South Plains.
Yeah, right now we have a really strong weather system that's moving across the country. It's producing some of the tornadoes out in the southeast right now. And when we have these strong systems, there's a pretty strong pressure fall. And when the pressure changes abruptly, you get these really, really strong winds. So if you go up, maybe 20,000 feet in the atmosphere, it's blowing a good 80, 90 miles an hour. And some of that is transferring down to the surface and picking up all the dust.
Speaking of weather systems, when is a good time for Lubbock to be prepared for severe weather, and how should we be prepared?
Oh yeah, this time of year we should already be prepared. So now is a good time to think about your necessary plans in case tornadoes do take place. Usually it's a good idea to identify a shelter where you live. If you have a basement, a lot of places in Lubbock don't, but if you do, a basement's a great place. Otherwise, get as low as you can in the structure that you're in. Put as many walls between you and the tornado, as long as there's no windows, and that's usually the best way to go. But yeah, it's never too early to start thinking about tornado preparedness, and usually in these kind of quiescent, kind of calm periods, it's a good time to start thinking about that.
And we were talking a little bit about the weather earlier. What is kind of the forecast these next couple of days that you've been looking at?
Yeah, so obviously today and tomorrow there's going to be some active tornadic activity in the southeast U.S. Alabama and North Carolina are going to be experiencing some of this. Here in West Texas, it's going to be more what you see. The winds will start dying down gradually here the next couple days. But in terms of thunderstorms, unfortunately, we don't see much in the way of life. In fact, the next 7 to 10 days look very, very calm with regards to the possibility of precipitation or tornadoes for that matter. So so going into early May, not so active, but once we get into mid-May, I guess the hope is at least we have some rain out here, but we can't say for sure yet.
Yeah, especially with those farmers getting ready to start producing their cotton.
Oh, absolutely. I know some friends at church that are cotton farmers, and they because of that rain we had about a week and a half ago, they're actually able to get out and plant some cotton. So, we hope that the conditions are good for planting. Obviously, if it gets too dry or too windy, it's difficult for them to do that. But, in terms of providing rain after it's planted, we don't see a lot of hope in the near future.
And then speaking of tornadoes that we kind of mentioned earlier, we have a couple of graphics from the National Weather Service, their Storm Prediction Center. They show on April 27th was the first major outbreak of tornadoes throughout the country, mainly in the Arkansas area. And then once again, they had another set round of tornadoes yesterday, April 28th, that kind of went all throughout the Mississippi Valley area. And then also today, there is another chance for severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center has put a moderate risk over that same area and a slight risk headed up north as well. And so as we take a look at a kind of a radar graphic of what's going on, storms have started to fire up in Louisiana, and they will start pushing through Mississippi, and the area has been issued a tornado watch. And so with that being said, those areas, once again, need to be prepared for weather. But as far as Lubbock, it looks like we're not going to get any weather. So as far as today, the top wind gust earlier today, according to the West Texas Mesonet, was around 44 miles per hour. We'll keep a cold front has pushed through the area, correct?
Yeah.
And so our high will climb into the 60s, a little cooler than it has been. And so tonight, as we head into tonight's forecast, it looks like skies will be partly cloudy and the low will drop into the 30s, with north winds continuing to blow around 10 to 25 miles per hour. But after midnight, it looks like winds will begin to decrease 10 to 15 miles per hour. So it looks like hopefully tomorrow will not be as windy, with mostly sunny skies and the high climbing into the 60s once again, with those north winds continuing to blow 10 to 20 miles per hour. Winds as we head into our 3-day forecast, it looks like Thursday will be mostly sunny with a low in the 30s once again and a high still in the 60s, with northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. And Friday, highs will climb back into the 70s with westerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. So it looks like it's going to be a nice, hopefully, couple of days with a little less dust out here on the South Plains. Back to you guys in the studio.
Hey, well, thanks, Kahley. And that's all for this Tuesday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. Have a happy Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.